Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. Not the happiest of intros today because obviously yesterday Chelsea were beaten 2-0 at Stamford Bridge at home to Liverpool. The first home game of the season, a season with a lot of optimism, but yesterday another realistic little slap round the face as if to say, you're not going to be as close as you'd like to be this season, maybe, but at the same time, it's also match week number 2. Chelsea still have, compared to the majority of the squad of players we only really have half a team available due to injuries and players just joining and not quite being ready to start yet for the club. So, for that very reason, I wanted to spend a few extra hours just going over the match again, watching it back with the highlights, watching the key moments back and seeing where this game was really lost for Chelsea, because straight after the game I was annoyed, I was upset. I thought there were so many things that I saw that just weren't good enough and that were super frustrating as a Chelsea fan yesterday. Before we get into any of the boxes, make sure you subscribe to GBFC if you haven't already done so, and turn on bell notifications so that you never miss a video. I've had some issues with my laptop last week, so there wasn't a match preview and I didn't have my laptop available, but it's all back now, it's all fixed, and I've got loads of content planned for you guys this week. After the win away at Brighton, the Reece James wonder goal, a good debut from Timo Werner, you could always rely on a player who is prone to making a few mistakes to make a mistake for us. And obviously for the second goal in this game, which killed the game off for Chelsea, we had 10 men. The first Liverpool goal was a very good goal. It was a well-worked team move. They managed to get round the back of Alonso, which again isn't the biggest surprise in the world. Put in a cross, Sadio Mane, it's a good header, Kepa's diving, he can't make it, but for goal number 2, it doesn't matter how many other saves in the game Kepa made, it's the goal that just killed it for Chelsea. As soon as Liverpool scored the second, we didn't ever really look like getting back into it, and it was just, again, the most calamitous of errors. Again, it's basic things from Kepa and he just cannot seem to do it. And I think a lot of people yesterday were giving him a lot of stick, and I think rightly so, because it's got to a point now where, yes, okay, his confidence is going to be very low. I think all of the criticism that Kepa's come in for from the fan base, he's obviously had the backing of Lampard, but Lampard, as we know when it comes to interviews and the way he talks to the media, he's incredibly diplomatic. He always says the right answers to not get himself into trouble, which is actually a very smart thing that managers do, and Frank Lampard isn't the only one. Kepa, Edouard Mendy is about to sign. I think after the news yesterday of the 2-0 defeat, I think Chelsea will be looking to announce the Mendy signing as early as possible this week because, well, we kind of need something to boost our spirits back up again after that 2-0 defeat. So Mendy comes in and I think he walks straight into the team. I think Kepa has had chances and I think, again, yesterday lets us down in a big game, and he is the first red box here in this video. Box number 2. Again, up until the moment that Christensen was sent off, I thought we played very well. I thought we were matching Liverpool toe to toe. And then just a moment of stupidity from Christensen. He's running backwards. He can see that clearly he's the last man. He's got Kepa approaching him as well. Just decides to throw his arms all over the Liverpool attacker. Brings him down. He's the last man. He gets given a yellow and then obviously it gets changed into a red card. And you can't really have any complaints about it, to be honest. It's a red box for Christensen for me because I think if he's being smart and he actually looks at the way it's going, yes, Kepa's coming out, Mane might round him, but he just needs to stick with him and maybe just put in a slide tackle to give him more chance. As soon as you put your arms around a player, he's going to go down, and I think it's just a stupid decision. Again, showing the naivety of Christensen. And if I bring it back to Tomori, who came on, I thought Tomori actually looked pretty good, just like he did last season at Stamford Bridge against Liverpool. So Christensen gets a red card. It's a straight red card, which means he'll miss the next few games. With Thiago Silva coming in, I didn't give Zuma a green box because I didn't think there was enough to suggest that he deserved a green box entirely for the game yesterday, but I thought Zuma was good. I thought Tomori was relatively decent when he came on too. Christensen, I mean, he's having his chances and, well, he gets sent off in a big game. So Kepa and Christensen, they're the first 2 boxes in this video. Don't think it's good enough, and I think they're going to be dropped for the games in the foreseeable future. Now, box number 3 is a green box, and I've given it to Timo Werner. I know it's a bit weird that we bought him in for a lot of money, and in the first 180 minutes of his Chelsea career, he hasn't yet scored a goal. But the one thing I keep seeing with Werner, he's not frightened to take players on. We saw a couple of runs in the first half where he was trying to get to the byline, trying to drive Chelsea forward, trying to get shots away, and the confidence that he seems to have when he has the ball to be able to carry it past defenders, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I also thought that when Tammy Abraham came on, he looked very good as well. I think maybe we could see a little combination between Timo and Tammy if Timo's happy to play. Over on the left-hand side, if Christian Pulisic's still going to be injured next weekend, I thought that Timo did very well. I thought, again, he's trying to make those runs in behind the defenders. It's a very dynamic kind of run, which Chelsea haven't necessarily been used to, and I think it's something that Tammy needs to develop in his game. But Timo Werner, I've given him a green. I thought he was very good, despite Chelsea not scoring. Timo Werner, again, looks sharp when he's got the ball. He's running at defenders, and I think it's only a matter of time before he gets his first goal. Now, box number 4. The one thing that we do get to learn when we don't have any fans in stadiums and all of the Premier League matches are live is we get to hear a lot more of what is said on the field. And yesterday I was listening very closely, and I could hear so many things being called out by Liverpool players trying to move each other around. With Chelsea yesterday, there was a clear lack of communication. People were always looking at one another, looking where we should make the next pass when we actually get the ball, instead of choreographing passing moves that are already 2 or 3 passes built in advance. Chelsea were very pedestrian. Whenever we had the ball, it looked as though we had the ball, then we looked to decide what to do with it, as opposed to actually having movements that were happening when we didn't have the ball to actually transition the play to get Chelsea further forward up the field. It was too sideways, it was incredibly slow, and considering that a lot of these new players we have are very quick players, we need to be smarter on the ball. We need to be communicating with one another to try and navigate these passes slightly earlier than when the ball eventually arrives at the feet of the player about to make the next pass. I thought that Liverpool were very good at that. I think obviously I'm approaching this video as a Chelsea fan, rating our players and our performances, but Liverpool were very well drilled. Liverpool are very well organised. Whenever they have an attack, with Chelsea, we spend so much time going from side to side, we're never really progressing the play. And I think yesterday it was one of the key reasons why we didn't create as many opportunities as, say, we would have liked to, even playing with 10 bloody men. Now, box number 5 is a little bit more of a generic box, and I've given it a yellow one because despite the backlash that a lot of fans gave Chelsea's performance yesterday, obviously Kepa's coming in for a lot of scrutiny, Christensen's red card kind of killed Chelsea's chances against the Premier League champions. But the question I want to ask to you guys in the comments down below, and this is why I've given this one a yellow, does it really matter at this stage of the season when we know that this Chelsea team is going to get better when all of the players that we have got are available to us? Right now, we're still without a goalkeeper who's playing with confidence. Kepa is playing with no confidence whatsoever, so we've just about to sign a keeper. No Ben Chilwell, no Thiago Silva, no Hakim Ziyech yet in the side. There are a lot of players that are still not in who are going to be first team regulars this season. So for that very reason, match week number 2, it's the hardest home game you can have all season, playing against the champions. When we did have 11 men, I thought we were pretty good. I thought there were elements of our game that were much better than there were last season. And I do think that there were a few weak links in this side who might not be getting that many more minutes. I thought Jorginho was actually a big part of the problem. He anchors himself too far back, and when Chelsea are looking to go forward, he's not quick enough to progress the play, and he always seems to be stuck so far in defensive positions that Chelsea can't navigate themselves up the field. So I don't think this is going to be a performance that we can judge this Chelsea team on as to how well we're going to do this season. I think what it already does, that we already knew, was that Liverpool are one of the best teams in Europe, and I think this year again they're going to be very strong. Thiago came on and looked very good. Liverpool are going to get better and better as well. So it shows that we've still got a lot of work to do, but without a full team and without a full strength side, I don't think we should be looking into this one too much. I think Chelsea will be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. There were other big performances this weekend from Spurs. United were beaten, which was great news. Arsenal got a win again. Chelsea need to be careful, but at the same time, it's still very early in the season. Don't get too carried away with the defeat, because I'm going to give another green box now to finish this video. I think we've seen that with Frank Lampard supposedly looking to go in for another holding midfielder, he wants to see N'Golo Kante slightly more advanced up the field again. N'Golo Kante gets a green. I'm finishing it on a green box because I think despite the 2-0 scoreline, despite some of the evident mistakes, I don't think it was as bad as what I initially thought when I was watching it. I kind of feel like when I watch Chelsea and we're losing, I sometimes just get deflated emotionally and I forget to actually analyse the football that we're playing, because at the end of the day, Chelsea's matches at the end of the week, you're having a good week, and then it kind of kills the mood after a defeat. And of course, when I'm sat here making these videos for you guys on GBFC, I want to be talking about wins. I don't want to be talking about losses. So it is a little bit deflating, but I don't think there's too much to worry about. This is going to wrap up 6 things we learned today. Let me know the 6 things that you guys learned in the comments down below. Do you think this match really tells us too much about this Chelsea team, considering the improvements of the squad that we've made, that we haven't yet seen in the starting 11? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and also Instagram. It's just at Mr. George Benson. Links to both in the description. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Roll on the next game. We've got to go for 3 points. See you all later.